Okay, I'm ready to begin, so let's get started. So we're going to continue our discussion of mass communications today. Now, I want you to remember that when you say mass communications, we mean communication from one person or group of people through a medium, which is some communication device, to many different people at once. So there are many people who are the receivers of the information. All right, so let me just get that on the board. So information through a medium to many. Now today, we'll look at how mass communication has changed over the centuries. Okay? We'll be looking at three major changes, revolutions really, in the history of mass communication. Now, the first communication revolution was the development of phonetic writing. So, first was the development of phonetic writing. All right, now this occurred 3,000 years ago. So it's 3,000 years ago. All right, now the development of phonetic writing meant that writing moved away from using pictographs. Okay, now these are symbols that represent objects and ideas, and moved toward using symbols to represent the actual sound of the spoken word. Now let me give you an example. Now in pictographic writing, people actually drew some kind of picture of an idea. So for example, to communicate the idea of a dog, they actually drew a dog. But in phonetic writing, people represented the sound d, o, g with three letters, D, O, G. Now, this was revolutionary. Why? Because it made writing easier. It was smaller, so it was actually easier to produce. So we see a real change in writing style. Now, not only did the style of writing change, but the medium on which the writing appeared changed also. Pictographic writing was done on heavy clay tablets, tablets that were so heavy that they really weren't portable. But around the same time that phonetic writing developed, a new medium was invented, papyrus. Now, papyrus was the type of paper made from a grass plant. Now, you can imagine that this paper was much lighter than clay. So this combination of a lightweight medium, papyrus, and phonetic writing made information more portable, so it could reach a bigger audience. Now, it also made it easier and cheaper to store the information. So information became more portable and storable. So this meant that for the first time, people had access to written material. So more people became literate. All right? That is, they learned to read and write, which led to wider communication. So people in different societies could convey information to people in other parts of the world. So you see, this was really the beginning of mass communication. One group or one person could now communicate with many people. So as societies grew more literate, this resulted in a demand for materials for people to read. So do you get the picture? All right? Because at this point, we're ready to look at the next change. The bigger population of readers created the second communications revolution, and that's printing. So the second is printing. And it also includes the printing press. Now, a printing press meant that information could be reproduced quickly. Now, in the year 305, so 1,700 years ago, the first wooden printing presses were invented in China. The printing press became more widely used when Johannes Gutenberg invented a printing press in Germany in the year 1455, and that used metal and movable type. Now, this was a very significant invention. The metal printing press made it faster and easier to print books and materials. And faster meant that more information was available to many more people. Now, let me explain why this is considered a revolution. Before the printing press, knowledge and information were in the hands of only a few privileged people. Okay? A scholar who wanted to know some specific thing or get some specific information had to travel to the place where the information was kept. But once information could be copied easily with the printing press, the information itself could travel to people beyond the society that created it. Okay? And with the printing press, information was more accessible. So it was accessible to everyone. So you really see how big this revolution was. Okay, now it's not a surprise that libraries developed as well, because it was easier to store information on paper. Information was now both portable and easy to store. Okay? Now this brings me to the third communications revolution, and that is computers. All right? Now we are all part of this revolution, which began in the 1950s, the computer revolution. Now computers have become the electronic storehouses and transmitters of large amounts of information, information that previously only existed in physical form. Okay? It was carved in stone or written on paper. Computer technology makes everything quicker and easier. Computers process, transmit, and store information much more efficiently than any previous system. Computers have changed the nature of mass communication. So to wrap up, you can see from these changes that there are three ideas that are key to mass communication. And let me just state them clearly. First, the ability to store information. Second, the ability to transport information. And finally, having access to information. These are essential to mass communication. Okay? See you on Tuesday.